This is why he's such a good like killjoy counter. Is like you can break the turret if you want. You just straight up break it, throw one here, and then maybe if you're lucky, you hit both of the mollies, or you only have to deal with one molly. That's a pretty good trade right there, I think. And even the alarm bot too. The alarm bot probably gets hit in this as well. So you essentially just obliterate all of Killjoy's utility with one ability. Yeah, he's like completely anti-Killjoy. It's actually nuts. And Cypher too. He's like an anti-Sentinel. If you're interested in free VOD reviews, check out my Discord in the description below. These will be done live on my stream every Friday. Just make sure to read the rules and requirements before submitting your VOD. All right, back to the video.
All right, let's go. All missiles away. How?
Actually, something I just realized that's actually kind of cool. This sort of setup that Ethos has here, the interesting thing about these compared to other abilities is that these pulse 3 times each, and the duration I think is like 5 seconds maybe, or around like 4 or 5 seconds. You have a lot of time to enter sight while these abilities are going off, and this is essentially preventing the defenders from pushing out while these are going off unless they want to just take damage. So the crowd control ability with this agent is going to be really strong. These might be nerfed first because these seem like his strongest ability by far. The other fact is that they can just completely take out a Killjoy ult with just like one, I'm pretty sure. It also pushes enemies out of some common spots, like for example, behind Dice or behind Jen, for example. Another really good spot I think that maybe we'll see Ethos do is you can just put 2 of them inside of an area like Tree, for example, and there's not a lot of positions that the enemy can hide except to go backwards and kind of give up this space to the attackers. If you want to do an A split, let's say you have maybe 2 guys on your team coming down Cat and they want to, take control of this while you guys are pushing in A main. This also allows them to kind of like freely move into this space and just completely take over a Tree, which is really strong. You throw a smoke here and now you have Tree control and you're freaking golden, dude. It's crazy. If you put it in an area like rafters, that shit also goes below rafters, the molly. I think that's going to be insane on maps like Ascent. Any map that has like a rafters position, it's going to hit above and below. If you're going against a Tejo and they come to A site, you're not going to be able to play hell unless you want to die. So they either have to be on site to fight you, which is, fairly manageable, and then you just put a smoke here and they're kind of screwed. They can't even contest while you take site. It's very strong. I think a common way that these mollies will be used is, let's say someone is here. Someone is playing in pizza and you guys want to go up mid and hit B at the end, right? Mid, you spot someone here. So what you can do is you concuss in the spot that they're stuck in, and then the second concuss can go essentially where they need to get to. The second one allows you to do that extra damage. So maybe they only got pulsed with damage once or twice in this, and then the second one is to finish them off. So you could do that in a position like Cubby here. So if someone's like hiding in this corner, you do it here and then put it here. So they are either forced to come out and fight or they fall back and then just die. That's the kind of common, pretty strong like theme that I'm seeing here. Yeah, and the other crazy thing is that this molly ability is on a goddamn cooldown. It's your signature ability. And I think it's like a 45-second timer or like a 40-second timer. When it comes back, you essentially have it again for the post plant if you're on attack. So you use it the first time to like initiate onto site. And then for the second time, there's a, 45 seconds go by, and then the second time, you just use it for post plant. Very straightforward here. Easy. That's pretty much all you have to do on attack.
I'm stunned.
Grenade is live.
Reach heaven.
Oh, that's another thing I think people don't utilize enough as well, especially controllers like Astra. When there's a smoke somewhere and you want to essentially overtake that smoke, a really good way to do that is just by launching a concuss in the center of the smoke, whether it's Tejo or if it's Astra concuss, something circular that takes up the whole thing. And you know that they're gonna like hopefully respect that. And if they don't respect it, then they're concussed while you enter the smoke and they become like a sitting duck. Or what happens is that they leave the smoke after you concuss it, you overtake the smoke. If they try to come back in, then you just blast them with a shotgun. So that's something that Tejo can potentially do.
Oh, that's it after the molly.
Yeah. They're mauling you guys. Watch out, watch out. You're alone, you're alone.
Something that's really good for the mollies is you could have someone on your team, you know, play on site somewhere. You can play in like a heaven position, or maybe you could just play in tree and play a little bit more passive. If you hear a jet dash in, you can hold your mollies. You know, when they flood out of sight, you do like a molly here where they're preparing to hit site, and then one like here. So when they're coming out, they just get blasted by the mollies. Or the other thing it does is you see how they're separated right now. So the fact that these guys are not connected is good, and he actually used his ability pretty well here. But if you just put these mollies on defense into a choke in positions where it makes it difficult to flood out with your teammates, like let's say Jet dashes out first and then you start getting mollied here, you're going to either have to push out while taking damage, or you're just going to have to wait. And meanwhile, your Jet is by themselves fighting 2 people on site. On defense, that seems like the way to use them for the most part. You can also use it as kind of an anti-plant. Think about it this way, you hear them planting. Ideally, you want to do it right before they plant. The fact that you can use both at the same time, if there's a site that has 2 common spots to plant, right, that are obvious, like Pearl, and all you have to do is like put one here and put one here, you're stalling the plant, like you're preventing the plant from going down, or if they stick, they're just going to take a ton of damage.
That's fine. I'm not as weird.
Oh, I'm stunned.
Oh my god.
I'm dead. Yo.
Oh, kill him. Yes, kill it. Oh.
He was kind of using an Odin from this position, and then Ethos put like the ult going across this way. He's essentially forced to drop down onto site, which is another cool way to do it. You know, this ult is cool because you can essentially force someone into a position, just like his other abilities. It's essentially running away from a breach ult, but this ult has much more control in terms of where you want someone to go. But you need to kind of use it in these more narrow hallways where the enemy has no choice but to jump off and go onto site. You can either do it this way so that the ult goes across and forces them back into cover, or if they're already out fighting, then you just do it this way, so it kind of forces them to fight or just get blasted by the ult, or they have to jump down on the site. So it's like oh, look at that, that's interesting. So when you have drone v drone, right, like right now you just get the edge of the choke from garage, right? But if we go frame by frame, you don't see the other drone until it's like 10 meters from you. You see how it's starting to materialize? So the range that the drone sees is different from what the enemy sees. So that means you want to try to, oh, I think I just had a brain blast. You know, you can still hear it, right? Like you can still hear it coming. So I think you can spray blindly and still kill it before you see it, because you can hear the little, like, you know, footsteps, like clank, 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 clank. But you see how it's materializing right here, but it's a lot closer. That means that you'll be able to see the enemies before they can see you as the drone. So if you see an enemy, if they're in this like visible range, that's when you want to activate the vulnerable. As long as they're in line of sight, you'll be able to vulnerable them. So as soon as you can see them, that's when you want to activate the vulnerable, because they won't be able to see you yet. Mixwell is actually about to show like a really good example of how you can take like aggressive space on defense. This is something that I've seen pros do more recently, where they'll put like a smoke here and then a suck, like an Astra suck here, and then they'll have 3 that just scale up and fight for this space. So he's kind of doing the same thing except with the mollies. Once they get to this point, they can't even like cross because the mollies are going off. So I would even maybe move it a little bit further back, could potentially be good. And then you just take all this space and then you prevent them from even like getting to own the B long space.
Si vienen solo. Ahora.
Oh, he's actually waiting until he sees them first. That's another interesting idea. You kind of force them out into the open space and just kind of hold.
No vienen.
But the idea is there. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm not sure if Tejo will be that good on Pearl, just because there's a lot of like open space that the enemies can kind of play around. He feels like a very like close quarters type of agent, similar to kind of how like Raze does really well in like close quarters environments, just by like having these big AoE abilities in these tight corridors, really like maximizing the potential that these abilities have. So I'm not sure if Pearl will be his best map. Ascent will probably be pretty good. Bind will be good. Split will be good. I don't know about Fracture. I think there's potential there, maybe. Even Haven, I'm not really so sure. It might be a double initiator type of situation. He's pretty straightforward, not super hard to use. He's fun. He just does a lot of damage. You can kind of do whatever you want. He just blows everything up. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to playing. We'll see how he does. That's going to be the review of Tejo. And that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me in the future. Subscribe for more videos like this and check out this one next for more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.